Your Humanities Half Hour is brought to you by the Northern Marianas Humanities Council.
Welcome to Your Humanities Half Hour. I'm Catherine Perry, and with us today are representatives of the Northern Marianas Humanities Council here as we celebrate Northern Marianas, or Humanities Month here in the Northern Marianas. It's my pleasure to welcome to studio Executive Director Scott Russell and Program Officer Eulalia Arriola. Welcome to your show, guys. Thanks, Kat.
Thank you, Kat.
Well, it's great that we have 1 month during the year to recognize the humanities. And of course, the most popular question is, what are the humanities? So before we even talk about the council, what are the humanities?
Well, the humanities are defined by Congress, and there's a whole long list of them. They include disciplines like history, linguistics, jurisprudence, archaeology, and they go on.
One way I've heard it described is basically anything except science or math, unless it's science or math in the context of humanity. Then it would qualify.
Or the history
as
of.
Yeah. Okay, great. So tell us a little bit about the council for those that are not familiar. How did it come about and what is its purpose?
Well, it was created in 1991. Agnes McFeeters and Ron Barano, who were at Northern Marianas College at that time, seized the opportunity. I believe that there was an amendment to the legislation that created the National Endowment for the Humanities that allowed programs like the CNMI in Guam, I think in the other territorial jurisdictions, to be able to participate. And so they took advantage of that opportunity. And I think in those days you were given the choice of having it as a part of the government or as a private 501c3 nonprofit. And I believe that almost all of the other state programs are 501c3s. I think there are one or two programs in the states that are actually a part of the state government. But Agnes and Ron decided to go with the 501c3.
And on that note, we do want to mention then that you do get some of your funding from local donations, including being eligible for the educational tax credit. But where does the rest of your funding come from?
The bulk of our funding, Kat, comes from the National Endowment for the Humanities. They have an annual appropriation that goes out to all of the state and territorial councils. And they have an appropriation formula to figure out how much funding that each of the jurisdictions get. But as you say, we also are eligible to fundraise and to bring in money as a nonprofit. And we do have the advantage of having been designated an educational institution, making us eligible to receive educational tax credit donations, which you're able to write off on your business gross receipts tax, so no cost to you.
That's great. And you actually started with the council as program officer, is that correct?
That's correct.
And now, Lolly, that's your position. Scott now has been promoted to executive director. Tell us, what is the role of the program officer in the council?
The role of program officer is pretty much to plan for programs, prepare for programs, think of logistics, just tie in everybody that's related to the programs. I know I keep saying programs, but it just seems like a lot. I mean, for me, I review grant applications because we have our community grants program. That's one component. We have our student programs like the junior high mock trial and the Valentine Sangabal poetry competition. So that requires working with all the schools, private and public, making flight arrangements for students from Rhode Antinian, and logistics for the actual event. And then we have our community lecture series where we organize public presentations from given by different scholars We have our Micronesian Authors Initiative, where we work with Micronesian authors to publish a book. And we have our Your Humanities half hour, where you and I email each other and call each other on show ideas, and you force me to record PSAs, and it's a lot, but it's fun. And so anything program related, we pretty much, as a program officer, you handle, but of course, Scott and Honora, our fiscal officer, is always there to like help guide me, because I kind of lose track sometimes.
Well, another big thing on this full plate you already have, of course, is the anniversary of the council this year, and which will be celebrated with a special gala this month. And we do want to talk about that in detail, what we have planned for the month. But in terms of the programs that you currently offer, is there any particular priority or topic that our council here in the Northern Marianas tries to emphasize, whether it be the particular audience we're addressing, or what is the spirit you feel, Scott, of our council here in the Northern Marianas?
Well, that's a pretty broad question, but
I know.
Humanities is a broad
yes.
topic.
Well, as far as audiences, we reach out pretty much across the spectrum. Through our Mother Read program, we deal with parents, but also young children. Through our student programs, we start at the junior high school level and high school and college. We have programs that are directed to the general public, and that attracts people from a wide range of ages, from teenagers up through people that are quite elderly. So our goal is to make the humanities available to as wide a cross-section of the community as we can.
Now, you've been with the council a number of years. How do you feel the council has evolved since you joined it to where we are today? Do you feel it's pretty much had the same programs and things we're addressing, or do you feel the emphasis has changed in any way?
Well, I think we've built upon the program of the past. I think right now we're doing a lot more programming than we have done, let's say, 15 years ago.
Great.
Sometimes it really taxes our staffing capabilities, because we do have, a number of programs.
And you only have 3 permanent employees.
We have 3 permanent employees, and then we have staff that run our Mother Read program, and of course you, who very ably handle our radio program.
Why, thank you. Yeah, so more programs now. Definitely, I think the community also sees that, because I do remember when I first learned about the council and used to go to the council for different reasons, usually to talk to you, Scott, about something. It was kind of a quiet office, but now it seems to really be picking up, or perhaps you're just doing better on getting the word out.
I think both.
Tell us a little bit about your outreach online. That's the way people are getting the word out about things. So if people want to find out about you, how can they do that?
Well, the one thing I do personally, if I want to find out about anything, is I Google it. And so for us, other than Googling our name, we have our website, which is northernmarianashumanities.org. We also have our new Facebook page, and an Instagram account, and a Twitter account. They're not always regularly updated, because I'm the one person that runs it, and I'm still also trying to learn how to do everything through my cell phone.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to learn some of the lingo on these like hashtags and at so and so.
You need an intern who knows more than you to help you.
It would be good actually to just have somebody focused on social media, because
it's so important.
It's something that could definitely increase our audience and our outreach. But I've been a little better about it, and we've been helping each other out. We also have our email listing with over 300 humanities friends. So if you want to be in our email listing, stop by our office, call our office at 235-4785, give us your email address, and we'll be happy to add your email so that you can find out everything that we're doing for the month, for the year. And yeah, everything we offer is free and open to the public, except for the fundraisers. But like for all of our events, we do not charge. And that's the one thing that we make sure to always offer.
I actually had somebody approach me today. They had attended the proclamation signing and they were asking about an upcoming lecture. And I told them they were very interested in it. And I told them the best way to find out what the council has coming up and their free lectures that they offer is to get on this email distribution list. So if you're interested in not just maybe catching it in the newspaper with their press releases, but actually getting a direct notification of what's coming up, please contact the council and they'll be happy to do that. We talked about the full-time staff you have, and then the other additional staff that help you with your programs. And then you also have the board, which is actually somewhat large and very resourceful. Share with us a little bit about what the role of the board is and how they assist the council.
Well, our board consists of 13 members. 10 are elected from the general public and 3 are appointed by the governor. They're eligible to serve 2 3-year terms before they would have to step down. The board, as any policy board does, it oversees our activities. It gives us guidance in programming. It makes sure that we're spending our money properly. They help us with fundraising and basically, oversee all of our administration, operations, and programming.
Now, occasionally you publish something in the paper saying that you're soliciting or welcoming nominations to the board or applications to the board. How does that process work if somebody is interested, for example?
Well, we have periodic vacancies, and those are, as you said, Kat, publicly announced widely through multiple media. And anybody in the community who has an interest in contributing to the humanities and has the time and the willingness to put in some work is invited to submit a letter of interest and a resume. Those applicants are then vetted by our Nominations and Bylaws Committee. We have selection criteria which focuses on knowledge of the humanities, ability to raise funds, demographics, so that we make sure that we're attempting to reflect the community, and also making sure that we have representatives from Rhoda and Tinian. And then after the applicants are vetted, they're sent to the board for review and a final vote.
I like how you said you're looking for people that are willing to work. This is a working board, and you actually have a wide variety of professions and positions represented on the board, from historians sometimes to teachers to what have you. So it's a really good opportunity for anybody who's interested in helping the council. I do want to talk more about the anniversary you mentioned in the second half of the show, but before we do that, if I could choose just one program that maybe just to emphasize a little bit to the community before we take a break, it would be the community grants. And of course, there are, if I understand correctly, quarterly deadlines.
Yes.
And what are the community grants really about?
The community grants are pretty much for grassroots efforts. An individual can apply or a group. And we've had various applications for documentary of local medicine and healing. We've had grants just to bring in scholars for presentations. There's just, it's hard to answer because it's such a wide range of subjects, and we have 3 different categories. We have a planning grant, a mini grant, and a regular grant. A planning grant is anything $1,500 and below. A mini grant is anything $2,000 and below, and a regular grant is anything above $2,000. Our deadline just passed, September 30, but our next one will be on New Year's Eve at 4 p.m. And so for anybody who's interested, if you have an idea related to the humanities, if you're not sure if your idea is related to the humanities, please stop by our office. I'm there Monday to Friday, 8 to 12, 1 to 5. And I'd be happy to sit with you and develop your idea and see if that's something that will satisfy our community grant requirement.
Great. Well, hopefully that little description there got some creative juices flowing. And if you have an idea, make sure you talk to the council early to see if it might be something that could be eligible for one of these grants. Well, we are talking today with the Executive Director of the Northern Marianas Humanities Council, Scott Russell, as well as Program Officer Eulalia Arriola, and we'll be back with full details about the Humanities Month celebration after this break.
On October 28th, the Northern Marianas Humanities Council invites you to join us in celebrating our 25th anniversary fundraiser at Pacific Islands Club. Tickets are $50 and include a seafood and steak dinner buffet, live entertainment, a raffle and silent auction, and a keynote address by noted environmental activist and poet Kathy Jennell-Kitchener. All proceeds will go toward funding more public humanities programs and projects in our community. For tickets, call 235-4785 or stop by our office at the Springs Plaza building on Middle Road, Gualarai. We look forward to celebrating with you.
Welcome back to your Humanities Half Hour. We're talking today about Humanities Month with Scott Russell and Eulalia Arriola from the Humanities Council. You have been advertising your 25th anniversary fundraising gala, which is going to feature a very exciting guest speaker. Tell us all about it.
That's right, Kat. We're having the Gala Dinner on the evening of October 28th, which is a Friday, from 6 to 11 p.m. at Pacific Islands Club. The cost of admission is $50, and the funding that will be raised from that will go directly to support our programs. We'll be offering a number of activities during this gala dinner. We'll be featuring a keynote address by Kathy Jennell-Kitchener, the Marshallese poet and environmental activist, who many in the area have known about. She should be quite interesting, and we're really looking forward to hearing what she has to say. We'll also be recognizing the 2016 Governor's Humanities awardees. Normally that's a standalone event, but this year we decided to combine it with the 25th anniversary celebration. We're going to be having a musical tribute to the late David K. Peter. And we're going to be having a silent auction of art and cultural items that hopefully will be of interest to those who attend.
Wow, and you're going to try to cover all of this in how many hours?
In 5 hours, yeah.
Oh, 5 hours.
5 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, definitely doable.
Give us that date again so we can all start checking our calendars. And
October 28th,
okay.
Friday,
October
6
28th.
to 11. It's a PIC special. It's steak and seafood.
Wow.
And it comes with all the beer and wine that you can drink.
Better and better. Well, there's almost no reason not to go.
Yes, I mean, not only because of what we're offering for that night, but all of the money raised will go towards our programs. And as we mentioned many times, as much as possible, our programs are free and open to the public. And it allows us to offer more.
And I think, I can, the few or the dinners that I've attended for the council, there's kind of a special feeling when the people who support the humanities get together. It's almost like a family also in a sense, because you see the people that you've been working with through the years or even the decades, you know. And so it's a great opportunity to get together with other like-minded individuals who feel that culture is important, history is important, literature is important. And as you mentioned, it's all for a great cause, and there are wonderful opportunities to enjoy the evening. Lolly, that's not the only thing that you have coming up this month. Share with us a little bit more about what's on your plate for October.
So we pretty much have something every week that we're offering this month. Other than our Sunday shows, or Your Humanities Half Hour, every Sunday from 2 to 2:30 p.m. here in Power 99, we will be offering a informational presentation. I'll be in Tinian and Rhoda next week. Tinian on the 4th, Rhoda on the 5th, just to meet with the community members there, and hopefully some of our veterans to share our upcoming veterans program. And then the following week, we have a special presentation by Dr. Peter Bellwood, and Dr. Mike Carson. And Dr. Xiao Chun Hung. Dr. Carson and Dr. Hung will be discussing ongoing archaeological research at Lau Lau in Saipan, rediscovering early sites of the Mariana Islands.
Wow.
And Dr. Peter Bellwood will be discussing who were the first settlers of the Mariana Islands. The event will be at American Memorial Park Visitor Center Theater. It is now open, and it's free and open to the public to 6 p.m.
And what day is that?
This is on October 11th.
Okay, so 2 great presentations on October 11th in the evening at American Memorial Park.
Yes.
And what else have you got?
Following that, from October 12th to the 14th, we actually have our grantors visiting, representative from the National Endowment of the Humanities, as well as 2 scholars who will be assessing our office, our program, staff, board, everything about the humanities here in Saipan. In the CNMI, will be coming in to see if we should get funding for another 5 years.
Oh, this is just a minor review.
Yeah, just a
this
minor
is nothing
review.
important.
No,
It has nothing to do with the budget or performance.
Yeah, we've been preparing for it for about a year now, in addition to the other programs that we've been doing. So we'll be quite busy on the 12th, 13th, and 14th of October. So forgive us if you're calling and maybe we don't answer the phone or no one's at the office, because we'll be in a lot of meetings during those 3 days.
All right.
And then that Saturday on October 15th, we'll have a premiere screening of Almost Sunrise. It's a special documentary about these 2 veterans. They're friends. They fought in Iraq, and they walked from Wisconsin to California to reflect on their experiences and raise awareness about what veterans go through when they return home.
Okay.
And we'll have 3 screenings in October, the 15th, the 22nd, and the 29th. It'll be at the park at 6 p.m. It's free and open to the public, and this will help raise awareness on veterans. And it's also an introduction to some of the programs that we'll be offering. And I don't know if I mentioned, but free and open to the public.
Thank you.
As always.
We love that.
The following week, we have the 13th annual Valentine's Sang About Poetry competition.
Okay.
So this is something that our students look forward to every year because they're cash prizes. And it's for middle school, junior high, and high school students. That's also going to be at the park, 6 p.m. on the 18th. So parents, come out and support your kids. Students, invite your friends. It's a fun night. There will be some original poetry and some poetry read from the anthology of Valentine Sangabal, which was published through our office.
Right. I think people by now probably associate that competition with the Humanities Council because you've done it for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And Lolly, you're there coordinating all of these events. In your opinion, and your experience with the participants that come to the lectures or join the poetry contest, why do you feel, or how do you see the humanities being relevant and important to our community today?
For me, it's hard to explain how it's important. I mean, how is it not important? I feel like there's something related to the humanities in everyday things that we do, from our culture to our language to our history. And so every day there's something humanities related. I mean, things that we see that we never think about as humanities related regarding all the different caves we have, the historical sites. Sometimes that one historical site has multiple parts that different scholars focus on, whether it be maybe the history or the purpose of it for military or something to that extent. We've been seeing a lot more people come out of different ages. I've been receiving some emails from people who are learning about our programs. They're excited and they want to volunteer, and that's great, because we are a small staff, and the fact that especially younger folks are asking about it and wanting to learn about it means a lot, and it shows that we're doing something right.
Yeah.
Right, Scott?
Well, I'd just like to say that we recently received an invitation from PBS Guam. They're quite interested in broadcasting our programming, and we're looking at this as a major opportunity to be able to expand our audience, to a regional level. And we're very honored that PBS Guam, feels that our programming is high quality enough to be broadcast.
Lolly, I know you talked about a lot of stuff already for this month, but I'm not sure if I gave you the chance to finish everything that we're doing this month.
The one thing that I wanted to mention, other than the following week after Sangabal, we have our 25th anniversary fundraiser and also the film screening of Almost Sunrise. Almost Sunrise introduces this Power Breath meditation workshop for veterans and families. And that's something that we'll be offering in November. But the deadline to register is on October 31st at 4 p.m. And so with the workshop, priority will be given to veterans and families. It's free and CNMI-wide. And also, it's a 5-day workshop, so they're required to be there all 5 days. We'll be bringing in facilitators from Project Welcome Home Troops. And this is part of our Standing Together initiative. It's an initiative to create programs under the Humanities for veterans. And under this initiative, I've also been working closely with Delegate Kilili's office, Tina Sablan, who's a Veterans History Project. Their workshops are coming up next week, which is why I'll be in Tinian and Rhoda.
Well, before we go, I do want to give you an opportunity for final thoughts, Scott.
Well, I invite everyone to come to our programming over the month of October and enjoy, the wide range of topics that we're going to be covering. And I also invite everyone to come and support the Humanities by attending our fundraiser on the 28th. Tickets are available at our office or with staff or with our board members. And please be assured that all of the funding that we receive will be put back into public programming.
If you can't go to the gala yourself, think about making a gift to somebody else to come out and enjoy the evening with us. Our guests today have been Executive Director Scott Russell and also Program Officer Eulalia Arriola of the Northern Marianas Humanities Council, celebrating 25 years this year of navigating the human experience. This has been your Humanities Half Hour. I'm Catherine Perry.
This program was supported by a We the People grant awarded to the Northern Marianas Humanities Council from the National Endowment for the Humanities. Any views, findings, conclusions, or recommendations expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily represent those of the National Endowment for the Humanities or the Northern Marianas Humanities Council.